Yo, what's goody, everybody? It's your boy Remo, and I'm back with another video. I just got back from Louisville, Kentucky. Went on a little vacation. We had a blast. It was cold there, but not colder than New York. Um, in this video, I want to talk about black flight attendants or black stewardess. I'm telling you, they are the worst. Black women are the worst flight attendants on the planet. On the freaking planet. The worst. Why? I don't know. I don't know. But on the way back from Louisville, Kentucky, we had a layover in New York City in LaGuardia, and I'm sitting there. We were sitting there waiting on our flight. We had like I said, we had a three-hour layover, and we had been seeing stewardess walk by, black, white. You know, when the white ones walk by or the Mexicans walk by, they seem happy. But the black ones that walk by, they act like they walking down a dark alley, like somebody gonna jump up and mug them. Like they don't smile. You know what I'm saying? Then some of them walk like they don't want to be there. But this one black flight attendant I saw walk by me, she was walking with her nose up in the air like she was the shit. You know? And so I ain't paying no attention. You know, I was tired. I couldn't wait to get on the plane so we can get home. So we ended up getting on the plane. When we sat down, we noticed we had that same black flight attendant that was walking down the hall with her nose up in the air. And so she was walking all up and down the aisles with her nose up in the air. You know, she didn't have no shape. She had on a short skirt that was above her knee. She had no shape. All she had was she had this long weave all the way down to her back. The weave went all. You could see the tracks. It was a mess. Looked like she just woke up. Her makeup was messed up. She had them long, ugly ass eyelashes. You know, you could see the glue on the side of her eyelashes. I'm like, you know, okay, she was brown skinned. I'm like, okay, whatever. She's probably been working 24 hours straight. Who knows? But she got on the intercom with an attitude. Then she hung up the intercom, and like she talked so fast, nobody could understand what she was saying. And plus, the airplane was running. You can't, if you're on the intercom, you can't talk fast because you sound muffled already. You know, nobody understood what she was saying, so I didn't think nothing of it. And when she walked by me, she bumped into my arm, and then she looked back and kind of rolled her eyes. So when she came back, I said, "Excuse me." She stopped like I was annoying her. She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "No, no big deal." I was like, "Hey, stuff happens, you know. We in a cramped airplane, so stuff happens." I said, "I need a seatbelt extender." So she was like, "Oh, I'll give it to you when I come back this way." I said, "Okay." And then about 5 minutes later, she came back and gave it to me. And she was like, "I'm gonna need you to give that back to me at the end of this flight when this flight landed." Blah. I said, "Okay, I got you." And in my mind, I was like, "Man, I ain't giving you nothing." I was like, "I sense you got an attitude." I'm thinking to myself, I ain't giving you shit. Because usually I just leave the seatbelt extender attached to the seatbelt, and the flight attendant's supposed to get them after everybody leave, you know, after everybody get off, because they got to wipe down the seats anyway. Well, they supposed to. With these black female flight attendants out, I don't know. They always be back there on their phones. I get up and go to the bathroom. Their faces buried on their phones. They're supposed to be visual and watching everything, but please, they don't give a shit. They just there for a check, you know. Sad, but it's true. So, yeah. So she made an announcement halfway into our flight, and was like, "Yeah, I'm coming down with the breakfast. Not the breakfast tray. The beverage tray." And she was like, still muffled, but I heard her this time. She was like, "And if you want ice, you're gonna have to ask for it." And I'm like, "Okay." Usually they just give you some ice and ask you what drink you want, give you some ice, and if you don't want no ice, you say it before they even try to give it to you. But most people don't think about it. You know what I mean? The cup is only this big, you know, and them beverages be warm, so you need ice. So she made it her duty to make people have to ask for ice. So the first couple of people she went to didn't hear her. They had headphones on. And so when she poured them their drink, because she was going off fast, when she poured them their drink, they was like, "Oh, can I get some ice?" "Oh, you should have told me before. I even started to make the drink." And then the one white dude was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." So then She came to another white lady that was in front of me. She asked her for ice. She said the same thing to her. But then when she got to me, I said, excuse me. I said, before you pour the drink, can you add ice? And then she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I'm glad you said something because I was about to go off on you. And I'm like, go off on me? I was like, what the hell you gonna go off on me for? I was like, you ain't go off on them two people in front of me. So she was like, yeah, but you would have been the third person. And I was like, I said, you know, a lot of people couldn't hear you on that intercom because you sound, number one, you sound muffled. And then number two, half the plane got their headphones on. Nobody could hear you. And she was like, well, I screamed to the top of my lungs. I said, no, you didn't. And she was like, yes, I did. She was like, so you want, I was like, yeah, I want a ginger ale. So she got mad at me for calling her out on her bullshit. But I didn't give a shit. So, person right behind me, she went to them and the dude behind me asked for some water. And so as soon as she started pouring the water, he was like, can I get ice with that? Because the water was lukewarm. Who wants some warm water with no ice? We on an airplane. You know, them little bottles, them little water bottles that they had, that water be warm. You need ice. But in her mind, she want to hurry up and get it over with. She want people to ask for ice, but that's slowing down the process. You know, get ready to give people ice, and if they don't want it, then they don't want it. She was working harder, not smarter, simply put it. So I didn't say nothing to her. We didn't speak to her for the whole flight. And then once our flight landed, I left that seatbelt extender on there. So I asked my girl, I was like, what's her problem? And then my girl was like, she thinks she better than everybody because she got all that long weave hanging down to her waist. And she thinks she better than everybody. And I was like, she ain't got no shape. She got ugly eyelashes. You can see the glue on the side. She got this long, ridiculous, dried up weave. Didn't make no sense. So, yeah, we left. I left that seatbelt extender. When we walked by her, nobody said nothing to her. She was looking at us like we were supposed to say bye. She didn't say nothing to us, and we didn't say nothing to her. So that's how that went. And then another time, we was leaving Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we had this one black flight attendant. I thought it was a dude because she had a bald head. I mean, she was like this, and you know, out the corner of my eyes, I was like, oh, okay, we got a dude, a black man, as a flight attendant. And when she got on the intercom, she said her name. Her name was Gloria or something. And I'm like, and then she took off her coat, and she had on like a long dress. Like, I didn't look down when I first got on. I was just looking straight ahead. And I just looked straight ahead and saw a bald head. I thought it was a bald head dude. I thought the motherfucker looked like me. But it was a she. And so halfway through the flight, she came with the beverage cart and was like, what you want? I usually get a ginger ale and ice. She was like, ginger ale? Okay. I said, thanks, sir. I had forgot that was a female. She was like, excuse me, but I'm not a sir. I was like, oh, my fault. I was like, you got a bald head just like me. I thought you was a dude. And then everybody looked at me on the plane. I thought it was a dude. So when she walked by, two other dudes was like, yeah, we thought the same thing. And so she had an attitude with me the whole flight. She should have put a wig on or something, or a lace front or afro wig or something, because I thought the chick was a dude. Yeah, and she had an attitude too. You know, every question, every person that had a question or something, she was acting like they was asking to sleep with her mother or something. Worst attitude, worst hospitality, and everything. I'm like, geez. So, another time we had this black flight attendant, and she just had a nasty attitude the whole flight. You know, I had asked her about the beverage cart. This was during COVID. She was like, we don't got no beverage cart. I was like, yo, this is a long flight. I was like, you know, we thirsty. We can't drink that faucet water in the bathroom. It says do not drink. She just had a nasty attitude. She was like, you think we gonna pass out beverages in this COVID season? You know, this is like 4 years ago when COVID was at its peak, 2021, I believe. She was like, you really think that? I was like, what COVID got to do with us being thirsty? I was like, y'all ain't got bottled water or nothing? She was like, no, we don't have none of that. COVID is running rampant on the airplanes. And I'm like, well, why y'all got us all bunched up together? Like, don't you think that's a COVID risk? And she was like, y'all chose to fly and blah blah. I was like, y'all just using COVID as an excuse not to do y'all job. And that's exactly what it was. Because the other flights we had been on, they gave us drinks except for that flight. You know, and it was American Airlines. She just didn't want to do it. See, a lot of people back then, they was using COVID as an excuse for everything to get out of doing their work. You know, just like during COVID, they didn't have them shuttle buses from the airport to the hotels. Oh, that's a COVID risk. No, it wasn't. They just laid them drivers off so they didn't have to pay money. It was a penny saver. You know, oh, we could save a penny because of COVID. We could say we don't have this and we don't have that, and we could save our pennies. Yeah, that's what we should do. That's what I'm telling you. That's what businesses were doing. Yeah, but a lot of them black flight attendants, they didn't want to do their job, and they just blamed it on COVID. You know, that really pissed me off. That really made me not want to fly no more, which I didn't for a while. But yeah, man. Shit, them black flight attendants, they are the worst. The worst. Y'all got to do better, man. People be in bad moods just like y'all. Yeah. People be in bad moods just like y'all. And they know if you put your hands on one of them, that's a felony. You know, even if you push one of them, that's a serious offense. They know this, so they can treat you any kind of way. They provoke you to put hands on them. You know, me, I ain't gonna put my hands on you. I just cuss you out and embarrass you. You know, I'll make your job harder. I talk shit about you. Yeah, we got to do better, y'all. I remember one time on my way to California from Philly, I was flying from Philly to Cali, and this white dude sitting next to me, all he asked was for some sanitation wipes. This was like back in September. And the black flight attendant just went off on him. She was like, oh, it ain't our job to give you no hand sanitation wipes or whatever. She was like, you're supposed to bring your own hand sanitizer. And he was like, my father is an investor in American Airlines. He was like, I know the CEO. He was like, what's your name? He pulled out his pen. She didn't want to give him her name. But I saw her name tag and I told him, because she was just rude to this white boy. This white boy wasn't, but all he asked was for some sanitation wipes. And she gave him an attitude. All she had to do was just say, we don't have any more. So he wrote her name down and was like, yeah, I'm going to contact the CEO. He was like, you're very rude and disrespectful. He was like, all you had to do was just give me a yes or no answer. And he was like, I'm going to see that you get terminated. He was like, I got witnesses. So then he pulled out his phone and started recording her while she was going off on her rant. And he was like, yeah, I got witnesses. He was like, this makes no sense. He was like, what do you do if somebody throws up from being airsick? You don't have sanitizer wipes for that? He was like, how do you clean down the planes? He was like, oh, I guess you probably don't. He was like, yeah. He was like, I can look at you and tell you probably don't. He was just going off, man. She was rude to that boy. I was like, man, this dude was kind of young, man. You know, he's probably like in his early 20s. He was from Santa Monica, California. He was sitting right next to me. Me and him became cool because it was a long flight. You know, me and him talked about that situation for maybe 2.5 hours straight. Wasn't nothing else to do. Couldn't get internet. Yeah, but y'all black female flight attendants, y'all got to do better. I'm telling you. It's your boy Remo. Peace.